Why would you refuse or drop your anonymity? Put your name out there so people know.
Yeah, it could be indeed, as you said, to get a bag, but it's very important to specify what type of bag you want. The last thing you want is for them to show up at your doorstep with a body bag. So it is important.
There are limitations. There's always limitations. We can speak freely, but there are limitations to the platform.
As
People have been banned or demonetized for talking the crazy stuff.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Then I'll say this. Because that last part made me think that it would be best not to make the Kanye joke I want to make. So I'll make another one. If Kanye gets there,
oh my God,
won't be able
to tag the show.
If Kanye gets there, he won't be able to enter. Because the only way that you're allowed in is through facial recognition. And this guy's walking around with a sock shoe on his head. So there's not really. You probably won't be able to get it.
I thought you was going a different route.
I was going the other route, but I thought not to make the joke, not to tank the show. So I made the lighter.
Well, you could have went the south. So you could have also said, you're putting a man on the stand who also has his own lawsuits going on right now. Who is gonna put him on the stand? I want to know that. Is it going to be the prosecution or is it going to be the defense? Because if the defense is gonna put him on the stand,
well, he did.
Might as well. Okay, continue.
He did defend. So we're gonna talk about this sort of key witness missing, because this is a very big deal. Of course, this is a very important, crucial development in the case. But to answer your question, I don't know if it will be the prosecution or the defense. What I do know is
the first question.
What I do know is that I'm not a betting man, but if I was one, I would have bet what race the person who puts him on the stand isn't. And if there's a bald-headed lawyer, I will bet that he's the one that will put him on the stand as well.
I'll say this, RJ. When someone's putting a witness on the stand, what you want to do is discredit the witness.
He's gonna do that all by himself. Oh man. You know?
Sir Kanye or Ye West, did you sit in front of a camera and said this? HH. Do you have a song saying HH? Do you have a lawsuit against you for But let's get back. Let's get back to the story.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's torching your witness in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
By the way, he has a new album pending, right? Ye?
Yes.
You know what the title of the album is?
Yes, CUCK. That's at least the newest number. He had another one. What was the previous one again? It had a different name, but he changed it after he admitted to slurping up his cousin. It is what it is.
His cousin. Yo, that's yeah. I think Cam put out a bolo right on the cousin. He said,
Yo, I'll do it. Yo, this show is about Diddy. We're talking about Kanye. After 5 minutes, still talking about Kanye. Yo, what the heck? This is crazy. Yeah, he did. Someone did put a bolo out
I
on
think it was Cam.
Kanye.
I think it was Cam.
They-
I think it was Cam. But anyways, let's go. Let's continue.
Kanye went full. Have you ever been swallowed?
Come on.
Oh
Come
man,
on.
shout out to TD, man. TD going into retirement a week before this trial starts. Guys, anyway, let's talk about the trial, man. What does this mean, RJ? If your key witness, one of the key voices in your story, when you're in court, basically what you want to do, I think, maybe you can shine some light on this. As a lawyer, you want to create a storyline, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You want to create a storyline. It's not really a storyline. It is storytelling. There has to be a component of storytelling in it. Because your case, and this applies to, I would say, almost all types of cases, if not all, you have the context, right? Where you're going to talk, where you want to create a context where you discuss the facts and circumstances. Then you have the second part, which is basically the rules, right? So, okay, this is what happened, but what are the applicable rules? Are we talking about, for example, is it theft? Is it what she wrote? Is it criminal law? Is it, civil law, and so on and so forth? And then the third aspect would be the legal law, which is the second part, right? The legal rules. And the third, that's the second part. And in the third part, what you want to do is apply those rules to the facts and circumstances. So you say what that person did there. So this action constitutes premeditated intention, for example, or it constitutes theft, whatever. So you're going to go through the criteria and you finalize with your conclusion. So basically those are the 4 steps, and the 5th one would be you want something, right? So that's why you demand something, either you claim something or you want to reject something. But the context, which is the first part, that's where storytelling really, really, really matters, because it creates the scenario for the judge, right? Because you want the judge to
And the jury.
and the jury in this case, yeah. In this case, so I was talking about the law in general, but in this particular case, it would be the jury primarily. But in general, when you're trying to convince, you want to put your case in the context that's convenient to you. So the defense, when they're going to talk about Diddy, of course, you're going to say, okay, this person is a philanthropist. He does this, he does that, he did this, he did that. He was even trusted with the key to the city, and so on and so forth. So you want to build that
I wouldn't mention that, by the way, because that same mayor is also then trapped into a fraud case, which is getting used by him to strong arm him to do whatever they want to. But okay, continue.
Let me put it like this, man. Adams, right? This is his last name.
Adams.
This
Mayor
dude dances.
Adams.
This dude dances merengue. I saw, so Latin.
With the bachatas.
Bachata was bachata, so he's good, man. He's good.
He's good until he doesn't do what someone says. Okay.
But in any case, that's how it goes. So the storytelling is very important, and the defense, the prosecution in this case, wants to create the image of a monster, right? So that's what they want the jury to see. They want to let the jury see a monster when they see Diddy. Whereas the defense,
in that case,
yeah, go ahead.
in that case, if that key part, that person is not there or is missing, what does that mean for that story? Does it lose credibility? Does it kind of weakens the case a little bit?
It weakens the case. It can weaken the case because we don't know what she's gonna say, right? It's just we just think we know what she's gonna say, but the attorney, they are trained. I would think that it's not the Amber Heard attorneys that's representing Diddy. Actually, we know because we discussed his legal team as well in the past. But they're trained to ask tough questions, not to attack
Defame?
the witness or defame the witness, but to create doubt in the mind of the jury, the mind of the jury members. Right? So, but it won't do anything necessarily with the context that they want to create, which is the story. Because they're already people have an image of Diddy being a monster, right? Monster, the dude that calls other rappers daddy. I like the way you when you have to whatever. So that's the type of person he is. So he already has that image against him. What a witness might do, or any evidence, for example, the video evidence, etc., what it does is substantiate the story that's already being told. Because if you cannot substantiate the story, if you can back it up, like Juvenile said,
It's just hearsay.
it's just hearsay. You're just saying something, but there's no evidence. So it does matter. I would say
So
more.
you want that?
Yeah.
No, continue.
I would say more. It matters more. And it matters more for the substantiation of the case, for the substantiation of the case than the story.
And the story
Because the
itself.
story,
So-
we already know the story.
Yeah, that is true. We all know the story, and of course this is kind of a the question is, why did she just vanish out of nowhere? Her lawyer cannot contact her. Did someone reveal that she revealed her name so she could be contacted? You know where to find me. You're on mute, by the way. You know where to find me.
Yeah.
Just give me a bag and I'll disappear. You know what happened as well, RJ? I mentioned it in the intro. Tory Lane's bodyguard, who was the driver, was a key witness. He also disappeared, but showed up the last day of court. Of course, already too late. I'm not saying that Diddy did it, but someone could contact you.
Yeah.
Why would you refuse or drop your anonymity, put your name out there so people know?
Yeah, it could be indeed, as you said, to get a bag, but it's very important to specify what type of bag you want. The last thing you want is for them to show up at your doorstep with a body bag. So it is important.
Yo, that's a bar right there. That's a bar right there.
It is important to have. It is important to be very specific about the type of bag you want. You want that Cassie bag.
Yeah.
You're the
Or
one
at least
that
a part of that Cassie bag.
Yeah, you're the one that other bag.